Hi, my name is Dana Luther. I'm going to give you a little overview of my portfolio for learning design and technology. So just a little bit about me to start off with. I have 2 degrees from Kennesaw State University, a bachelor's in middle grades education and a master's in instructional technology. I've been teaching for a little over 5 years, and I'm currently teaching 6th grade social studies at McCluskey Middle School, which is in northern Cobb County. I really wanted to pursue this degree from UGA for several reasons. I love the versatility of this degree because you can use it as an instructional technologist, any content area, any grade level, even if you go into educational leadership or even the corporate world outside of education. The skills and the concepts that we've learned throughout this degree program apply to all those things and have really just allowed me to sharpen my skill set as a professional, and I'm very thankful for that. I also had a prior interest in structural technology because of my master's degree, and there are a couple of courses of particular interest that really got me motivated to come back and pursue this degree at UGA, like games and learning, problem project and problem-based learning, some areas that I knew I was somewhat weak in and wanted to become a stronger teacher in, so that really encouraged me to apply. And finally, I was ready to branch out a little bit beyond KSU and learn about different teaching styles and philosophies that were being taught at other universities in the state, and this gave me the opportunity to do so. So today I'm going to show you 2 artifacts in my portfolio that I feel really display what I've learned and what I'm continuing to apply in my classroom and in a leadership position in my school. So I hope you enjoy it. So the first artifact that we're going to look at today is on digital citizenship. And this is really going to focus on the disposition. So this project was done in professional learning through technology, and it's basically a semester-long accountability plan so I can follow through with all the skills and knowledge I acquired this summer. So a huge thing that really drove my motivation throughout this and is continuing to keep me on an educational high even though we're about to graduate is our school pursuing STEM for certification. We recently received that, and I was a member of the STEAM team. We currently have STEM certification, but we're on track to pursue STEAM, and I'm going to arts integration and professional development as a result of that as well. So this really helped me become a leader among my team because I was able to look at all of our standards over the summer, look at all of our pacing guides, kind of get one leg up on it and see where we were going to go with our STEM projects. We were required to do 2 STEM projects that were collaborative and cross-curricular this year. So I generated a list of ideas this year, how we naturally overlap, and then we were able to start having those discussions and pre-planning, and throughout the year the conversation had already started, and it wasn't like we were starting with a blank slate, in other words. So this artifact gave me an opportunity to acquire new skills. Our standards in science and social studies at the middle school level in Georgia have changed in the past couple of years, and as a result our pacing guides have changed, so it was nice to see that and become familiar with what's being taught to the students across the curriculum and see how we can integrate STEM, like I said. So as part of this, we were able to look at safe ways and strategic ways to incorporate these as far as usage. 6th grade's at the awkward year where most websites want you to be a 12. We have 12-year-olds, but we also have 11-year-olds, and we have even a 5th grader this year, student that skipped 5th grade and is 10 this year. So we have all over the place in ages, and we wanted to make sure we were being ethical and safe in this. So again, just kind of springboarding and looking at programs that were safe for student use, programs that our county partnered with like Minecraft, EDU, Microsoft 365, ThingLink, and Adobe Spark, and being strategic in the way we incorporate this, so we're not just shoving technology in the kids' face, but really using it to enhance their learning and understanding of what we're trying to accomplish. So the unit I looked at was professional learning through technology. The initial thing I had planned was a World War I PBL day, which did happen, and on a larger scale we did ocean currents and garbage and how they built up. So it was more about cultural understanding than specific standards, although they did meet specific standards in all the content areas, looking at World War I and its effects in social studies class and really pursuing that. We looked at the music of World War I in the band class. We had veterans come to schools, kind of a current events type thing, and how it impacted them. So that was really a fun activity and pep rally that we did with the music, with the veterans and all that, and learning about that, eating trench cake in social studies. But we also looked at the ocean currents and how it impacted pollution. And all of this was done because we had time to look at this during pre-planning and kind of springboard on where we overlap. So we tied that in to social studies through environmental issues and created a map on ThingLink of where these gyres are in the ocean and how trash is accumulating in those areas. And the biggest one is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch off the coast of California. This actually ended up being super meaningful. The kids even developed a green team where they started recycling in the school because of the impact this project had on them. So that, as a teacher, was incredible to see how the students really latched onto that and they cared about the wildlife, and they are still going around sorting out paper, plastic, trash and collecting that on their own initiative because they noticed that when it was combined, students were throwing glass in the recycling, students were throwing trash in the recycling, and it wasn't getting recycled. So they've led this on their own and actually take it to the recycling bin and outside each day, which has been so cool to see. Finally, let's talk about diverse learners, because this is my first time teaching students with special needs in a co-taught setting in 6th grade. When I had previously taught 6th grade, I was teaching gifted learners. So one thing that I wanted to do to ensure that they were able to access this is providing things like SnapRead as a resource where they can have it read to them, chunking it, and giving them websites where they were able to read at their level, like Ducksters, Newsella, all those things that could structure based off their lifestyle so they weren't in over their heads and they could complete the same project that everybody else was doing. So the second artifact, and what I find the most fun and exciting, is professional learning and program evaluation. This is my capstone project, which has been a variety of things. So in our research course, I focused on the impact of student-centered learning like PBL, STEM, all these hot buzzwords in education. Well, how does that impact students that read? Because I have a variety of readers in my classroom, from somebody who's proficient on a pre-K level, and then I have people that are on a 10th and 11th grade level, all within the same classroom. So I wanted to see how all these students are being affected, but especially the ones that are not on grade level. And it's been really impactful to see how incorporating these projects, like little mini daily projects that overlap, like we have been learning about literacy rates in Latin America. We're looking at Cuba, Brazil, and Mexico, and comparing those through CA World Factbook, and I showed them how to make a graph in Microsoft Word, which is what they're talking about in math. So learning all those skills and kind of learning how to analyze those in math, just doing little mini projects and not making STEM so elaborate, and watching the test scores rise. Because it's one thing to read a research article and do some research on this stuff, but to see a student's test score go up by 33 points, that was my largest gain after a student-centered unit, was just completely incredible, because it's not just a random article. I really struggled to find articles on struggling readers and student-centered learning, so to put these things in practice and in place with scaffolding, graphic organizers, and conferencing with them as they do them, it was cool to see that happen in my own classroom with kids I know. Let's see. So this is ongoing for me, because not only was I implementing these things, I'm receiving professional development and arts integration, as I mentioned earlier, and looking for constant learner-centered approaches that are backed by research that meet up with my curriculum. Again, I'm talking about keeping up with diverse learners, providing scaffolding, giving them tools to help them read online, things like that, and just kind of talking with my co-teacher along the way to make sure we're providing what the students need. So this is awesome, because not everything, in my head I want everything to be glitz and glamour, And this has really shown me that it doesn't have to be about that. It's about the learning process and piquing the student's curiosity. So I've really enjoyed showing you these artifacts and just giving you a taste of what I've learned throughout this program. I hope you enjoyed it.